Do you suffer from any of the following symptoms in your online digital marketing strategies? Perhaps it's low traffic. Perhaps it's low conversions. Perhaps it's the absence of. In other words, no list at all, or a very small list. And what I mean by that is perhaps that you've got less than 1,000 ideal targeted prospects on that list. If yes, then without further ado, let's get started. So in this video, what we're doing is we're dealing with the problems. This is all associated with the clarity and the conversion section. So this is all about the C of the iCanDOur 8-step formula. So in clarity, what we have to do is we have to deal with the problem there that any of you coaches may be having with low sales. And this is usually one of three problems. It's either to do with the traffic or the quality of the traffic coming through. It's to do with perhaps poor or low conversions. And it's to do, sometimes they're quite fundamentally at the beginning, especially with either no or a very small list. In other words, what I mean by that is whenever you've got a list of 1,000 or less targeted prospects, you know, the ideal size of the list has to be at least 1,000. And whenever it's at least 1,000, then what we can do is we can split test it, break it into groups of 500, 500, and then put it out to the targeted list. And then we see what action that these people will take. Do they want to be nurtured? Is it for them, maybe perhaps not now? Or is it something then that they're perhaps going to think about? Or is it perhaps even something that they hadn't even thought about? So this is what we're going to deal with in this video. Let's deal with this one, no small list. Now there's three options there as I see it in the experience that what we have helped all of you hundreds and hundreds of coaches out there to achieve. So option one would be LinkedIn. And what would happen in LinkedIn is we would take your existing list, even if you don't have any list at all, we would take perhaps the contents of your LinkedIn first degree connections. And what we would do is we would export them into a list. And for example, if there's two of you in the partnership, we would take both of your lists and then like get you to remove friends, personal acquaintances, family members, anybody like that. So in other words, there that we're sort of like, we've got this sort of bundle, and this bundle will become important, especially in the next step. So keep that in mind. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to extract your list. And then we're trying to sit with you and then say, okay, well, who in this list there would be known to you and would be one of your ideal targeted prospects? You know, the type of person that you would love, love, love to do business with, that you would love to coach. Okay. And this is the way that I would do this. Now, I would subscribe to LinkedIn Premium. And by that, I mean Sales Navigator. So what you can do is you can sign up for a free 30-day trial or a free 31-day trial. I think they even give you a few more extra days. Now, put a note in your calendar, put a note in your agenda, put a note in your phone so that you will cancel it. And then during these 30 days, these 31 plus days, we have to throttle it full force on the gas pedal. And we have to then take in one of the virtual assistants, either from your team or from my team. And then we have to get them to process these lists and get the maximum amount of juice possible out of LinkedIn. And then from that, we have to try to get a list together. And what I normally recommend there is to put it into Google Sheets. And then what you would do is you would go through them. You would look for example, there, if you're dealing with the menopause wellness coaches, you would do it through the menopause friendly groups. You'd be putting in those keywords, all of the things associated with retreats, women's circle retreats, spiritual retreats, all of those things, all of those good things that would be synonymous with the messaging that you're trying to put out there. And then what you would do is you would go out there and you would invite the people to the list. Now, normally you would try to do it about 50 to 70. Now, this is not an exact science because sometimes then If you do 70, LinkedIn allows it, but if you do 71, then LinkedIn sort of says, hey, hold on a second, there, you're sending out too many of these connection messages. Let's put on the brakes a little bit, and then you have to wait at least 24 hours before you can continue. And if you do this a few days in a row, then you might have to wait like a few more days before you can get back in to connect to more people. So this is why we always try it like 50 some days, 55 another day, 56. So we don't want to push our luck. What we want to do is we want to invite them with the really nice little invitation message that we've shown you in some of the other videos, and especially inside the workshops, the weekly webinar Wednesday plus the live Q&A workshops on the Wednesdays. And then we have to consider, there are two important factors here, that the cost of buying the list compared to the cost of buying a really good list and the cost of buying a great list. The costs can differ quite a lot between them both. But if you ever watch any of the videos from in the last workshop, we mentioned that person, Stephen Bartlett. He is one of the people in the United States and North America. It's called Shark Tank, with the people like Mark, etc. A really good show. And over in the United Kingdom, it's called Dragon's Den, and it features these titans of the business industries. And one of the people is Stephen Bartlett, who made his millions through going out there and getting a truly, truly, truly great list. And it does take time, and it does take effort, and it does take money. And that is the difference there between it. Now, he was going out there, and if you read his blogs, the amount of money there that he paid, and he was just like absolutely broke. But you have to think there, this was the difference between a great list, and it made him hundreds of millions of British pounds, of US dollars, of euros there in his process. So you have to always evaluate it there accordingly to your budget, and then you have to determine what is one of these leads worth to me. Yeah, it was worth a phenomenal amount of money from him because they came over apparently from Jamaica. He was there. He had a single mother. There she was single, and what they had to do was she had to fend for him, provide for him, etc. And it was tough. It was growing up. They're in difficult circumstances. Okay, and then you have to imagine that to send out these invitations is going to consume approximately 2 hours of VA time per day. Not just to send out the messages, but to follow up on them. Remember, it's all about the follow-up. Yeah, so for example, for the people that don't connect, let's say within 2-3 days, because not everybody is as active on LinkedIn as all of you coaches. Okay, so you have to bear that in the back of your mind. Right then, I have to remember, use the cursor key. Yes, okay. The other key strategy there that I've spoken to quite a few of you about has been the LinkedIn newsletter. And the LinkedIn newsletter, there in our strategy, in our iCanDOur strategy, what we prefer to do is we prefer to send out 90% of it through LinkedIn. And what I mean by that is that we don't miss out a few articles or whatever, but we take something out of each article. So for example, we do the posts organically on LinkedIn through the scheduler, so that there's no more time except for the setting up and plugging of them into the scheduler. This only takes like a few seconds there per post, but you just have to make sure that it's done in your voice, that it's approved, etc. And then you take something out, and this takes a few minutes. And then what you would do is you would tell the people, look, were you interested in this article? Well, there's a big reveal to this article. There's a piece there that we've taken out, and you're very honest, you're very upfront, you're very transparent about it. And then you would put that full article. So you would repeat the article inside your newsletter. And this would be inside your funnel, inside Cartware, ClickFunnels, or GrooveFunnels, whatever. And you would put in the full article there. And then what you would do is you would send that out to your list on a monthly basis. Here's the newsletter. We've got some of these new topics about about X, Y, and Z. And then here's another idea, because nobody gets anything in the post anymore. The old form of snail mail, the things that you would get. What is it? You get the letters, etc. from those things. And this is important, because maybe you could even post it out with a free sample. because remember, this is going out to the paid subscribers. So this is why I'm using the terms free sample. Okay, so it's a really, really nice idea. Okay, remember, use the cursor keys. Right then, so this is option number 2 in the case there where perhaps we've got no or a small list. In other words, less than 1,000 prospects. Okay, which is the case for quite a few of you in this group. So what we're doing is we're doing Facebook, and we're doing Facebook ad retargeting. Okay, now this is important because what we're asking to do is we're asking Facebook to reach out. Now the operative word here is reach. To reach out and to find people of similar profiles, similar ages, similar demographics, that live in similar places, you know, to the cities there that you have attracted in your key personnel, to your whiskey retreats, to your menopause retreats, to your digital marketing retreats, to your agile development retreats, to whatever sort of retreat there that you're running there. But if you've got 8, 10, 15, 20 people in those ones, so what you have to do is you have to look at those people under a magnifying glass, and then you have to say, oh, well, hold on a second there, how can I find more people like Clara? How can I find more people like John? How can I find more people like Nihao? There are all of those ones there, all of those key, the A-star clients, and you all know who I'm talking about there. How can we invite more of them to come into our story? So Facebook is by far and above the best platform out there for retargeting. Even if you're using LinkedIn, and even if, you know, you quite rightly believe that the majority of your key profile clients are on LinkedIn, they're also on Facebook. But perhaps they're not under Facebook as, for example, if your name is Kath, perhaps they're not under there as Kath. If their name is Martin, perhaps they're not under there as Martin. I have seen this time and time again. They're perhaps under fake profiles, fake personas, but it's linked always to the business, to the admin page. I was talking to somebody earlier this week, and his name was Sam Tompkinson. And that was his name on Facebook, that was his name on Instagram, but whenever I talked to the person's real name was not Sam Tompkinson, and his real email address was not samtompkinson@gmail.com. Go figure. And a very nice client, So we'll welcome him into the process this week. Remember to use these cursor keys. So this is a really good idea, because then what we're doing is we're asking them to raise their hands if they've got similar issues, if they've faced similar issues to some of your previous A-star clients. For example, any of the feedback there that they got, for example, bioidenticals was brilliant, it was mind-blowing, it did this, and this. And then think, okay, well, have you got these problems? You know, maybe bioidenticals, their bio-HRT could help. Or maybe it's they're the case of they have tried a number of these whiskies, and the whiskies there really didn't suit their palate. So then they really have to try to think about how to get a broader sampling there of the Irish whiskies from the whiskey sampling cultures. Or maybe it's the process of the agile development, and then what you have to do is you have to ring fence it around certain parts of the agile development process. There, maybe it's Kanban, maybe it's Scrum, maybe it's I can't even remember them all now, but there are a few different formats to that. And what you have to do is you make sure that you're calling out to the people if they're struggling with Kanban. Hey, hello there. And if they're having problems with, maybe it's Scrums, or maybe it's with the sprints, or maybe it's with some other part. But whatever they are having a problem with, it's almost as if you're like a mind reader. Hey, are you having a problem there, John, with the agile sprints? Oh my God, yes, I am. Right, so then I'm going to go into this and I'm going to follow up with them about this process. But remember, you have to have somebody in place there, and this person has to be responsive, has to be properly trained, and has to be able to follow up with the process. Because whenever you've got a hot lead, you have to jump at it before that lead becomes cold. It's like one of those hot pieces of coal, you know, one of those embers from the fire. If they jump out, you know, whenever you were younger, perhaps some of you don't remember that, when there were fires, whenever you had a real fire, and one of the pieces would jump out of the fire at you, and it would land on the on the mat or on the rug, on your mother's rug or your father's rug, and it would start to burn. So what you would have to do is you would have to get these tongs and you would have to throw it back into the fire. So it's like this same sort of process there with the leads. You have to get there as quickly as possible before you destroy your mother or your father's or even your own rug in front of the fireplace. Okay, because it's not nice. Not nice having a big burnt hole in the middle of it. So think about that. Hot leads, very important. Hot potatoes. And then the option number 3, Google, and in brackets, YouTube ads. Remember, YouTube belonged to Google. I don't care what some of you said. The relationship is intrinsical. And if we understand that relationship, it becomes truly, truly powerful. And you see, what I mean here is by doing like even a 2-pronged strategy inside the Google and the YouTubes. By doing this, what we can do is we can have like a paid ad section where you're appearing at the top above the video SEO, above the local SEO, the national SEO, and the international SEO. And then below it, there you can also go for a double whammy, because some people will not click on the sponsored ads. You know the way it says at the top, ad sponsored by Google, and then the people are thinking, well, hold on a second, let me see if I can find out some free information. And then if you post the same information underneath that you have all given me, you've all given me these SEO terms that you would like to be found under, you know, retreats, whiskey retreats, agile retreats, women's circle retreats, all of these different retreats that you would like to be found under. And there, this is where it could come up. It could come up underneath the sponsored section, and it could come up in a variety of formats. It could come up as the video SEO. Remember, the video SEO is good and it works, but then what you can do to compound that is to have the copy, the highly converting copy, plus the video, which is going to give you a presence there, if we do it correctly, for SEO local. So in other words, for 9 of these points, if you draw a grid around the place, for example, if you're having these retreats in Dublin, if you're having these retreats in Lisbon, if you're having these retreats in Somerset, it's a place in the south, I have to do this right, southwest of England, or if you're having these retreats somewhere else, if you're having them in Paris, France, or if you're having them in Paris, Texas, you have to call this out to the people. And then you could put that up, a little grid around it, almost like a Google Map reference. And you could do it then through Google Local, and then it's another stepping stone to get it to Google National. For example, throughout all of the United States, throughout all of the United Kingdom, throughout all of Ireland, throughout all of Canada, there, because some of you are up there in Canada, throughout all of North America, maybe. So include Mexico, the United States, and Canada. They're into the equation. Include maybe all of the United Arab Emirates, as we did there with Catherine. There for the 10 countries over there in the Middle East, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Iraq, Iran, Dubai, etc., all of those places. And invite them to come into your story. And you see, by far and above there, those two, they're Facebook, through Facebook ad retargeting, and Google ads, YouTube ads in brackets there inside it, because what we're going to do is we're going to do some of these YouTube short videos. And what I mean by that is whenever you position the video or the phone, the smart device, the smartphone there that you're recording these from, so you put it this way as opposed to this way, okay? So you put it into portrait mode, I always get this wrong, and you put it vertically as opposed to horizontally into landscape mode, okay? Landscape mode, horizontal mode is okay for the normal YouTube videos, but for these ones here that we're going to leverage through Facebook stories, through Instagram, which is just one extra click, one extra mouse click away from replicating it on Instagram if it's done correctly. And then you could also leverage that to from Facebook and Instagram all the way through to TikTok if you want to be a tickety talker. And you could also then do it through to some of the other platforms, for example, YouTube Shorts. Okay, this is where the video appears at the bottom, but the video has to be short, has to be concise. Hey, have you thought about this? Hey, have you thought about that? Something powerful, something emitting. And then what you have to do is you have to try to follow up with them according to this process. Okay, Now let me see then if I can go down here. Right. So you see, this is how it would all fit into the process. So this is what we've talked about now. We've talked about how to build a list on LinkedIn. We've talked about how to get traction from Google, both paid traction and organic traction. And then we've included there the YouTube videos inside it. And then we've talked about the Facebook ad retargeting. So now then, we've built for you all these landing pages with the highly converting copy. So what we have to do now is we have to make that more SEO friendly. So beyond the video SEO, we now have to talk about the video, the SEO local, the SEO national, and for some of you, the SEO international. Okay, so for example, whenever you're sending these whiskey samples outside of Ireland, when you're sending their information about these retreats, maybe the menopause retreats to the countries that are very close to the southwest of England, perhaps Ireland, Netherlands, France, etc. For all of those people, that messaging may be attractive too, because there's apparently going to be 1 billion people, 1 billion ladies on the planet by the year 2025, in 2 short years, that are going to be going through this midlife experience, this midlife journey, this midlife transition. Okay, use the caret keys. Right, so we put them through to the landing page, and then we ask them. Now, we have designed for you all these questionnaires, but sometimes what we have to think about is that perhaps for this part, and this part I call the qualification sequence, I would simplify that down, and I would take, like, for some of you, we've designed 12 questions, some of you 13, some of you 14, some of you 15, and I would take just a few of those questions out of there, and I would put them into a much simpler, much more concise, much more compact questionnaire, because this is for the qualification section. Okay, and I would run them through questions like, for example, first of all, what's your name, what's your address, what's your name, what's your email address, what's your budget, is this interesting for you, do you suffer from any of these pain points, if it's associated with agile transformation, put them down. If it's associated with the menopause, put them down. If it's associated with teenagers who in 3 or 4 years will be of college age, university age, put them down. Put down all of those things then, and you're trying to ask for a response. Yeah, and this is what it's about there in this thing. So, like, I would ask a few very simple, very short, engaging questions. Okay, so that's what I would do there, and then schedule them. Now, this is an important point. This is an important point there that some of you have missed out on. So let me put this to you again very, very succinctly. This is where they have to book a one-to-one meeting with you. Now, if you're all very, very busy, that's fine. I understand that. You're all coaches, you're all out there, you're all working, and you want to focus on your coaching. That's fair enough. That's fine and dandy. But then what we have to do is we have to try to think there how we're going to get these people in. And this is what I would suggest. Like, for example, this would be one of the landing pages there that I would suggest at this point that comes up. So after they have answered these short qualification questions, so a shorter version of the quiz that would be specially adapted to bridge people over. So they've come in from social media, they've come in from your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your TikTok, your Twitter, your wherever, and they've landed onto your landing page. So we've designed all of the landing pages for all of you. For the menopause wellness coaches, for the agile coaches, for the early years coaches, for the people that are going to college, uni in 3 to 4 years, for the people there that are going through the relationship problems, the leadership problems, etc. There are how to keep the employees happy, employee retention, employee satisfaction, all of those ones. So now this is after the qualification section. So you remember, they land through, they splash through onto your landing page, your splash page, your squeeze page. And remember, that page has got one function and one function alone, and that is to capture their name and their email address. Name and email address. Okay. And then if you do that right, whenever you come through to the qualification questions, you don't have to ask them their name again. You don't have to ask them their email address, because they're still in this process. If they come out of this process and come back in, yes, ask them again for their email and their name. But then ask them a few, and I mean a few short questions. So none of the long questions, none of the massive options list. I would keep that for later in the process. Very valuable, but keep it for later. But for now, then, it could be something like this. And it could be just something very, very simple. So after they've done these few qualification questions, if they've answered them properly, like, for example, if they said, oh, no, I have no budget, you know, my family take all the budget and there's nothing left for me. Okay, fine, fair enough. There, perhaps you can just show them some of the free information, because it's obvious that they're not going to be a good fit for you. But if they do have the budget, and even if they choose some of the lower options, then perhaps you've got something for them, maybe a course, maybe a product, maybe a service. There could be something, but maybe they couldn't afford your full-blown retreats per se. And then if that's the case, then what you could do is you could put them through to an alternate funnel. But let's say there, for example, that they have qualified, that they have got the budget, and that they have got the interest, they have got the desire, and you've made them like pinky promise. No, this is your pinky, isn't it? Pinky promise that they are actually going to turn up and they are actually going to get value from it. So this would be my proposal for this. You see, you've got a nice little image there, and it's clear that these three ladies are of menopause, postmenopause, perimenopause age. Okay, they're usually from about their mid-40s up until sometimes their early 60s. Okay, and find out the easiest way for you to transition into the midlife second spring journey of your life in just 30 minutes. Yeah, so what you're doing is you're making something very, very clear, and then you're telling them, claim your free post-menopause session. In other words, perimenopause or menopause or postmenopausal session to discover how to transition into your midlife journey within 4 days, because that's the length of these retreats. They're 4 days and 3 nights, hopefully, or I'm going to be. No, I firmly believe it's 4 days and it's 3 nights. 3 nights in some beautiful, beautiful picturesque parts of the English countryside in the southwest of England in the United Kingdom. And then you make it clear, hurry, places are strictly limited, so you must act now. And then you would put the value. You would put the value there. The value can be $15.97, whatever it would be there for one of these retreats. But remember, all you're doing is you're giving them information. You're going to be selling the benefits of this. Now, the best people on the planet to do this are the people themselves. So, for example, if you're the Agile Transformation Coach, obviously the landing page, this page here, the splash page, would be a little bit different. Yeah, but if you're the whiskey sampling coach, then again it would be a little bit different. But this would be the type of process that you'd be putting them into, and always position the value. Okay, just make it honest. Whatever one of these retreats do actually cost. Like some of them cost quite a few thousand. Some of them there I was talking to yesterday cost like, what is it, $5,000 for one night. Okay, and whatever it is, just position it there. Position your value so that they get this clear in their heads. Wow, I'm getting a free session that's going to help me there, because I've got problems with the perimenopause, or I've got problems with postmenopausal symptoms, or I've got problems with menopausal symptoms on their own. And then whatever it is, wow, I could do something about this, about these problems that are going on inside, you know, and my doctor tells me it's all in my head. Wow, this is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go and I'm going to claim my free session right now. Because remember, these are people that have filled in these pre-qualification questions inside your funnel. Okay, and this is what I would do, because then this is where it would become truly important. And then here's a really, really important one: confirm it with them. Yeah, so if they've given you, at this point, they would be giving you their not only their name and their email address, they'd be giving you their full name. They would be giving you their email address. They've already given you those two things, but you would make sure it's their full name. So for example, if their first name is Paul and then their surname is McKeown, then they would have to put in both of those pieces of information. They would be giving you their cell phone number, their mobile phone number, their smartphone number, their handy number, whatever you want to call it. They would be giving you those details, including the country code. Remember, because some of these people might not be from that actual country itself. Okay. US and Canada doesn't really matter because it's +1 for both. But for over here in Europe, every single European state, every single European country has got its own country code. Okay. And some of them are even more confusing than that. For example, yeah, no, I won't go into that one here. But it does involve something. Okay, step 5, confirm it with them. This is really important. Confirm it with them. So, you know, like again, what you're doing is you're saying congratulations, and the email there that you're sending them out should sort of confirm this. And you should also, top tip, use something like Twilio or use something like something else there, because you've put money on the table to get these leads. And Twilio, yes, Twilio does cost, what is it, $20 for so many SMS credits. And it can be used with Kartra, it can be used with ClickFunnels, it can be used with GrooveFunnels, it can be used with Podia, Kajabi, everything. And you get $20 worth of tokens, of SMS tokens. And then you get a really, really, really nice SMS. I'll just show you the types of SMSs that you can get. Really, really nice. Let's not lose them here. And it looks like, you see, that they came from a normal source. Okay, it looks like they come from a normal. I'm just trying to turn off all these notifications. Every time you turn on your iPhone, you get about 5 million of them. Okay, stop. No, they're still coming through. I want to show you this this message and not all of the iOS notifications. Okay. Right, hopefully they're going to stop. Right, and then what you do is you just get a really short, really simple little SMS. Yeah, you know, hey Kath, hey Roz, hey Catherine, hey Prudence, hey Florence. I saw that you tried to do this, or I saw that you just purchased this, or I saw that you just reserved a session. I'm really, really looking forward to speaking with you. Again, in case you haven't seen them in your email, here are the Zoom meeting details. Okay, and then either you have a trained VA, a trained virtual assistant, or you know, you've scheduled some time in your calendar to deal with these people, and then we can set up that calendar inside Kartra or inside Calendly or inside wherever. And if there are 2 of you in the business, divide it between you. If there are 3 of you in the business, divide it between the 3 of you. But that's a really, really good session, because then that way you're turning up to the meeting, or the trained VA is turning up to the meeting, and then the person is going through their qualification questions. And remember, there's nothing in this world to stop you from sending them out more. So you've all got like the more full-blown questionnaires inside your sequences. And what you could do is you could pull that out at that point of the hat, because remember, this is a really warm lead. So this is a person there that has taken the time, invested the time to go through your questionnaire. And then what you'd be doing is you're trying to convert them. So you could, at that point, after they've booked in the meeting on your calendar, you could send them off another request to their email address, asking them to take part in another questionnaire. Okay. Now remember, you see, this is very, very, very important. Like, tattoo this on your skin or something, there on your eyelids. I don't really care. No, I'm not being serious, obviously, but just put it somewhere, maybe on the fridge, or maybe as a piece of paper, like held on by a magnet, and say that this is for a booked sales appointment exclusively for you, with somebody that is expecting, that is excited, that is enthused about the prospect of you taking a phone call with them. Remember, we've got them to pinky promise that they're really going to turn up. So important. And then what happens after that? Then after that, you're going to give them to the all-important page. This is the thank you, the success page. Okay, the thank you, the success page, which gives them the opportunity, gives you the opportunity to let them purchase one of your low ticket offers. So maybe it's one of your interviews, one of your podcasts, one of your webinars, one of your more in-depth cheat sheets, one of your more in-depth PDF guides. Maybe it's your ebook. Maybe it's something else, like we've got a list of 111 of them. So I'm not going to bore you by going through all of them. But this really is the most important page in the funnel. And this is why we spend 2 workshops, not 1, but 2, going through this. These are what we call the intent-based branding, the intent-based marketing workshops. And you have to go through them because they have got such a high conversion rate. Because by the time that you take the people all the way through this, they've got something like a 20% conversion rate. 20% conversion rate. So in other words, by taking the people through this process, by not skipping out any of the parts of this process, the qualification questions in stage number 3, that's scheduling a call with them so that they feel valued, appreciated, nourished, nurtured in step number 4. And then step number 5, this thank you page, where it's got the all-important 14 key elements for this sales script. And this is what you have to have in place. Okay, if you don't have it, go inside to the training portal. This is for the paid members, and then you go through it and make sure that you have all of those 14 points covered, regardless whatever you think that they're salesy or not. These are proven recipes there that work. Okay, so make it honest, make it applicable to you, put it into your voice. But these are not trying to be salesy. These are just trying to give the 3 important calls to action. Make them honest and make them about you. Okay, but if you look at that, like for example, if we take this through in terms of costs, you'll be talking about $2 to $10 per lead at the opt-in page. So in other words, to get them through from, let's say, from a triage lead that has been maybe put through the process once or twice, but then up all the way up to maybe a $10 lead that has been put through the process, the triaging process, the filtering process, about 5 or 6 times. Okay, so obviously that takes a little bit longer and that costs a little bit more. It doesn't matter who you go to, if it's Facebook or if it's Google Ads or whatever, you will have to pay for the better quality leads. Okay, so you have to think about that in terms of what you're going to get back. Yeah. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be talking about a 10 to a 15% conversion rate, again dependent on the quality of the leads. So if you're taking through the leads at $2, then you're probably going to be getting about a 10% conversion rate. And if you're taking through the leads at $10, then you're going to be more aiming towards the 15, sometimes even the 20% conversion rate. You get what you pay for. And then you're putting them through to these pre-qualification questions in the number 3 phase. And then number 4, make sure that they can schedule a call to somebody so that whenever they're hot, they're hot. Okay. And maybe even they're followed up with by a BDM, a business development person. It doesn't really matter. Whatever they are, whenever they're hot, they're hot. And you have to be boom, on the ball, maybe on a chat bot like ChatGPT or maybe something else like that. But you have to have something there where you can reach out to them and just say, hey, you know, I got this, bump. And that way you can reach a lot of people like that. And then take them through to your thank you success page where they see your upsell, they see your cross-sell. There, for example, to your low ticket offering. You know, maybe it's for $7, $44, $47, $97. We talked about that in the low ticket offer workshop. Okay, and then from that, then make them go through to the strategy session, there to the one-to-one call with you. And then you see there are a lot of the coaches there from the people that have come through there to the things whenever they have like confirmed their details. So we've done the double opt-in. And then we've made sure that they're going to turn up. We've sent them the details by email and by SMS, so by text messaging or by WhatsApp or wherever they are. And then once you get that, then you can think to yourselves, oh my goodness, this person is like a really nice lead. So you'll follow up with them, maybe ask them some more questions, get them more involved in the process. Okay, but that's what it would look like. And remember, then you see there, this is a very, very important page, And this is the thing there now that we have to use to transition them through. And once they've claimed their free session, then once they've, in other words, booked that strategy call with you, in other words, you've extolled the benefits of it. And once they're sort of like sold on that, it's free, then they're going to be taken through to your upsell, and then they might think, oh, right, well, it's only like $97 or $197 or $47 or $44, whatever it is. And then, yes, here you go, here are my credit card details. I'm like a hot lead at the moment. So you've made me think about something like this in the challenging and the qualification questions, and therefore you have no problem. You know, like I do it myself. I've spent maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars on these courses, but yeah, you know, you work out there where you get the value, where you don't. And of course, they'll check around, they'll check out your LinkedIn profile, they'll check out your Facebook profile, they'll check out a bit more about what you're all about. And then they will like you. If they like your messaging, if they like your core values, they will come along, and then they will become really, really, really important people for your community. Okay, then you can put them into, you can ring fence them there, as Russ says, into Facebook groups, into private Facebook groups, where they can talk about things in a safe space. So in other words, there, it's not good. It's going inside your Facebook page, inside your Facebook business page. This is what they used to be called. And then inside the Facebook business page, you would have a private group. You would have notifications about a private group, and all of the information inside it would only be for the private members. And then you would let them into it, and then they would get all of the information. And again, this could be for the paid members or not. It really does depend. And again, you could repeat some of the information that you're putting in the newsletter, there in LinkedIn, etc. Those ones. Okay. So anyway, there, I'm sending you all out then one of these proposals for this. But I want you all to look at this video and to think about it, because for all of you people out there in my network who are running these retreats, then you really, really, really have to think about these things, and you have to think about these things now, because the time to plan is now. And then as we repeat the process, the post-launch process from the last retreats that you ran, and then now we're going to the pre-launch, so the post-launch and the pre-launch for the next retreat. These are things that we really, really, really have to think about. Okay, and I'm just sort of sitting there watching there, looking at this lady's tattoo that's running all the way down her arm. I'm wondering what it says. Okay, anyway, this has been me, Paul, telling you all about this, and this is all going to be covered in much more detail in these strategic clarity workshops there that we're going to be hosting next week on the Wednesdays. So on the weekly webinar, Wednesdays plus workshops. Okay, so don't forget, come along and join us. The link to the webinar will be directly underneath in the comments below. It'll be pinned to the top, so it'll be the first comment directly underneath the video. Don't forget to like the video, to comment on the video with any of the questions that you may have, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay, thank you all very, very much, and I look forward to speaking with you soon in the next video and the next workshop. Okay, all the best. It's me, PG Max, saying peace out. Bye for now. See you soon. Bye-bye. Come and join us for some epic digital marketing strategies. And let's make you feel like you're on top of the world. The link is directly in the comments below this video. Most ambitious, fast-paced entrepreneurial coaches struggle to get their message about the unique blind spots you resolve in front of the right type of coaching client. An iCanDOur digital marketing alchemist can transform your knowledge into information and this information into gold by positioning your message to the top of Google in under 24.5 minutes flat, so that you can stop relying on word of mouth and referral magical marketing and instead have a predictable stream of income from awesome coaching clients.